My name is Sandra Chikan, and I was born in Jos Plateau State. I am a mother of 3 and a mother of 69 children. I'm an entrepreneur, I am a social worker, and I'm also a pastor. I run a non-profit that is called Kingdom Kids Club. Right now we're in the middle of a name change. When the time is right, the name will be unveiled. But right there in that orphanage or in that nonprofit, we run the orphanage. And the orphanage is housing 69 children presently from different local governments here in Jos Plateau State. I have over the years developed a passion for people, especially for children. When I was 9 years old, I lost my dad. A couple of years later, my mom also died, and so essentially I grew up as an orphan. Kingdom Kids is a non-profit that is focused on care and support for orphans and vulnerable children. We offer short-term, medium-term, and long-term intervention to these children. We provide education, we provide a place for them to stay, and we also provide the opportunity for them to live their dreams. So we open up our programs to the community where people can come in and volunteer using their skills to teach us different things, whether it is music, whether it is carpentry. Life skills training is ongoing. At the moment, we have a poultry, we have goats that we rear in the facility. It gives the children an opportunity to be a part of something greater than them, and then to also teach them entrepreneurship. We also have a workshop where they learn to make shoes. Those who don't make shoes, or those who are not interested in livestock, poultry and all of that, they find expression in whether it is art or whether it is music. Partners help us with that. We do have a couple of churches, organizations who have come alongside of us, and they also use their skill and their resources to be a blessing to us. Essentially, that's what I also do a bit of business. I bake pizza. I learned to bake pizza a couple of years ago. I taught myself. Google teaches everything, so I took advantage of Google and I do that. Now it's become a business. I have a home service delivery. So you order and then I send it to you, or you come pick up. And that is also providing some income to help me do or run the nonprofit. I also work with young people. In my church, I work with a lot of children. I'm also the director of our children's ministry in my church, the Latter House Christian Center here in Jos. I have the privilege and the honor of working with over 300 children. Exciting as it is, it's a lot of work, but I get to see beauty coming out of every life and out of every expression in the children's ministry. The Bible says that with the same comfort that we receive, we also comfort other people. And I guess that's where I find my strength and my story. There's a lot of brokenness in the world, and there's a lot of brokenness that I see in my community around here, especially when it comes to children. Children are the least cared for, they're the least noticed. Many times you go to communities and you see how children are being abused, violated, and you wonder, where are the parents? And even when there are no parents, you wonder, where is the community? So systems fail, communities have failed. And we come as an answer to some of that brokenness. I know that even within the communities, there are many people who would like to help, who have the intention to help, but they're not able to because of economic reasons. There's also the history in Africa of kinship care. And so when your father or your mother dies, you are able to find home and find help in the community, whether your uncle or your aunt, like I did. But right now, because of the poverty in our country, that is not seen, that's not in operation anymore. One of the things that I see all the time is children, young people hungry for guidance and for mentoring. And so I'm excited that I'm able to share my story, one, with the children, and two, share lessons that I've learned along the way that can also encourage and help them along their own paths and in pursuing and fulfilling their own passion. I see great potential where I am in this state, in this country, great potential. And the potential, first and foremost, is in our human resource, in our children, in our young people. And if we can harness that and we can make every single person realize that they're here to fulfill a dream, they're here to fulfill a script, and they can make an impact and participate in building this nation, building our state, and building our communities, then I think together as a community and as a people, we would grow. One, we need to recognize that everybody is gifted and find ways of stirring up that gift first and foremost, and then giving them the opportunities to hone the skills that they have. And when they hone those skills, they're able to contribute to nation building or become active participants in community building. Everybody goes through pain at some level, and everybody goes through some storm in life. Take, for instance, there's a tree in a forest and there's a storm. It's not the tree's fault that there was a storm. Storms happen to everybody and to anybody. In a forest, animals will scurry out of their hiding place and try to find shelter. Branches can be broken from a tree, and the tree can be uprooted, which means the tree moves from its original position to another position. Put your life alongside that scenario and see. And let's use you as that tree. If you are that tree in that forest and something happens to you, you have a choice to make, either to scurry out of your comfort zone and get to another place where you'd find safety and shelter, or if you're uprooted from where you are, you need to find meaning in your new location. And so death happens, crisis comes, confusion, abuse, violence, all of that happens. But when it happens to you, the first thing you need to realize, it was not your fault that it happened to you. Sometimes people say, well, I took myself there. Yes, you took yourself there, but there were other actors and players. And you need to realize that you cannot determine what other people do to you. You cannot determine how they react even after the abuse or after whatever experience, but there's something you can do. Finding a significant person or thinking about and drawing strength from the memories of that significant person, like my father, has really helped to shape me and to guide me in the work that I do with children. And so even in the work that I do with children, I ensure that we do it excellently. So I put in systems where we are accountable, not just to our partners, not just to the government, because we're registered with the government as well, but even with the children, so that the children are part of our process in ensuring that we are both accountable. If people give us gifts, people bring donations, we must ensure that whatever we get, we use it to the maximum. So say, for example, people give us money to fix a chair. We must fix that chair and fix it well, so that next time you come, you see the chair fixed and you ensure that our children are well taught. Then in terms of food, our children get good food. Now, along the way, there are challenges, because running a children's home is no small task. You are feeding a lot of children. So every month there's a huge budget for food. There's a huge budget for medical care. There's a huge budget for transportation because they go to school. Even education takes a chunk of our challenge, of our resources. And then the facility we're in is not our facility. However, an anonymous donor bought us a piece of land. So in a short while, our property will be built to our taste and using our own specifications, what we'd like to see on that piece of land. is going to happen very soon. One of the greatest challenges that we face is the resources just to keep that facility running. It costs a lot of money to rent the place first and foremost. Then secondly, there are leaks here and there. General maintenance of the facility is tough. And then sometimes there's what we call now donor fatigue. People get tired of giving, or people that have been giving, they also have some circumstance or some situation that hits them and they're not able to give like they used to. We have a case of a parent who was sponsoring one of our girls in school, and all of a sudden she fell ill and she couldn't pay the school fees and the girl had to be withdrawn. Things like that. When that happens, you have to look for alternative means. So our focus right now is what we call sustainability, or having a sustainability plan where we ourselves are able to put something on ground that generates some income, an income generating activity like this life skills, where we can sell our goods. The chicken, and our chickens are very big. So right now we're selling that. The children are involved in rearing them. The children are involved in even the sale, because they also have to learn how to do that, so that eventually when they leave the place, they have some kind of skill that they can use to set themselves up. And then one of the challenge also is encouraging people to volunteer. The volunteering mentality here is slightly different in terms of in the sense that people don't understand volunteering. A volunteer comes for a week, and after a week he doesn't show up. Why? Because in their minds, people think that volunteering is a means to getting a job, and it is, because as you volunteer, you learn, there are experiences that you pick up, there are skills that you pick up. But when you're coming to volunteer, you don't come with that mindset. What you're doing is, I'm here to give of my time, of my skill. And out of that, you can make connections, you can have a circle of influence that you would not have if you were sitting at home without a job and without volunteering experience. But when you come with the intention of service. And when you serve, out of that can come a job. But it's not every volunteer that ends up working in Kingdom Kids. So sometimes volunteers come for a week and then they tell you they don't have transport. And I understand that, because the economic condition for a graduate who is unemployed is tough. So he's not able to get transport money. But we have a volunteering plan where you tell us how many times can you come. So if your finances only allow you to come once a week, that's good enough. But people don't understand that, and they just say, okay, maybe if I come and say I want to volunteer, maybe they'll give me a job. And they come and they're not consistent, and something suffers along the way. So what we do now is there are some committed volunteers that we engage, and we're able to provide some transport money sometimes. Sometimes we're not able to do that, but sometimes we are. And that helps them to continue to come and to fill in the gap, because sometimes staffing is a problem. You have 69 children, you need a lot of staff on ground to be able to take care of them, to be able to help with their homework and all. But we have been blessed to have ministry partners who have also hired some staff and who are also living with us at the moment. I'm talking about our partners called Back to Back Ministries. They have been of immense help there. And then we have individuals who consistently give to us. We have organizations who are also faithful. So the challenges are there, but we don't look at that. We just keep pressing forward and striving, because we know that there's a life that we can impact and we can change. And then looking at the stories of our children, a child who is abandoned, or a child whose parents were killed in violent conflict, ends up with us, and we start working with the child. We offer trauma counseling, trauma healing, and after a couple of months and years, you find out that the child is back on his feet, the child is reading, the child is excited about life, The child has overcome nightmares and all sorts of effects of the trauma, and we're able to see that this child has great potential. And those stories motivate us, and those stories keep us working and keep us striving, and they keep us from being swallowed up by the challenges. My desire and my dream and my prayer is that every single child that we're working with would come to the point where they themselves become fully functional individuals who discover first and foremost their own passion, their own dreams, and then they're able to fulfill that. That's my dream. I want to see that every child becomes the person that he was created to be, in spite of the pain and the hurt and the calamity that befell them, just like I am doing right now. My dream would be that one day I would find that each of our children is in a place where they are also impacting other lives, and they're also using their stories to better the lives of the people in their community.